I'm Alex Lawrence from TelcoForge. I'm here with Pete Koat, the CEO of AxyomCore. So, Pete, we've been hearing a lot this week about indoor wireless and private networks. Why do you think these are gaining such traction right now?
We've been hearing a lot about that this year from MWC as well. And this traction behind indoor coverage and private networks isn't just about bars and a phone. It's about data sovereignty and the industrialization of AI. And I see three primary drivers for this trend. The first being indoor first reality of 5G and 5G advanced. Most high frequency spectrum like millimeter wavelengths struggle to penetrate modern energy efficient building materials. And since roughly 80% of mobile data traffic is generated indoors, the industry is moving away from this outside-in macro cell model to support this IQ era where every device has an AI agent. And at that point, we really need a dedicated indoor infrastructure like small cells to ensure high throughput, low latency pipe that all these agents require. The second item is the rise of physical AI and robotics. In AxyomCore's context, we're seeing a lot of factories and warehouses move from simple automation to embodied AI. You can't run a fleet of autonomous mobile robots on public Wi-Fi or a congested macro network. Private 5G networks provide deterministic low latency. And we see this in this standard with ultra reliable low latency communications. This is giving you a guaranteed response time for safety critical robotics. And similarly with the advancements of RedCap, the reduced capabilities. And this is useful in massive IoT applications where you have the ability to connect thousands of sensors per square kilometer without signal dropouts. And finally, data sovereignty and security. With the move towards edge computing, enterprise want their sensitive AI training data to stay on-prem. A private network acts as a walled garden. It allows a company to keep its proprietary data off the public networks, reducing the attack vectors and maintaining total control over network slicing and priority traffic.
Can you tell us a bit more about that network extender that you're exhibiting at MWC this week?
The network extender that we're showcasing this year is a significant leap forward from traditional small cell solutions. It has industry-leading performance, both in terms of coverage. So we support 3,100 square feet and just shy of 1 terabit per second cover or throughput on the device. Those industry-leading figures translate into real cost savings for the operator as they're able to use fewer cells to support the same loads, which naturally simplifies the operational requirements. Once plugged in, it can perform a real-time spectral analysis of the surrounding macro environments, and it automatically adjusts its gain and filtering to prevent interference with the outdoor network, effectively healing the indoor coverage gap without requiring a technician to turn a single dial. And at the end of the day, what that provides the operator with is a simplified deployment model where they're able to service the same footprint with fewer deployed small cells.
So you talked about accommodating 4G and 5G on your core. What is a converged core? Can you tell the audience, and what are the benefits?
A converged core is a platform that can service both 4G, 5G, 5G advanced, and the future coming 6G under one giant ecosystem. In the past, you might have to modify someone's data plan in the HSS and then do it again as you transition into 5G. And likely there'll be another process when we move into 6G. But in a converged core, you modify that setting once. It's a one-time event for the change, a one-time event for the engineers managing that platform. And this really brings a lot of efficiency for the operators. If there's a massive spike, for example, when we're looking at a stateless architecture, there's a massive spike such as a million IoT devices coming online. It allows the platform to dynamically scale to support those functions in those small microservices without actually having to scale up the entire ecosystem to support that increased load. What we've done today, practically, is we're able to use exactly the same core for a private application that we can see on the floor today at one of our partners where they're using for emergency services in a private 5G network, so in a small chassis. That exact same software is used in a major tier 1 operator servicing millions of customers.
You probably get asked this all the time, but just how scalable is your core?
That's a fair question. As an industry, we've really evolved from measuring scale of how many simultaneous subscribers you can support on your platform, really into the ability to dynamically evolve your platform to adjust to various different load impacts on your overall network. And it might be due to a million devices, IoT devices spooling up in a fraction of a second, which might cause a signaling storm. And you really need to have a microservices architecture that can scale up and handle that load. And in a converged environment, what that means is that you can have one single platform that is servicing your 3G, your 4G, your 5G, your 5G Advanced, and your upcoming 6G all in one ecosystem. Why that's important is it future-proofs the platform. When you're making a policy change on a subscriber, on a data plan, you don't have to do it each time they change their access technology or their evolution of their network. And similarly, as your population evolves over time from a 4G population and then they are transitioning them into 5G assets, those same resources, that same ecosystem can power down those resources and reallocate them into the new generation of mobile core all in one platform.
So you work a lot with MVNOs. They don't have the same kind of support requirements that a big player like a Telefonica or an O2 will have. So how does that change the way that you relate to them and the kind of support that they require from you?
It's a really perceptive observation. We've been working with MVNOs, especially light or thin MVNOs. We see that as merging in the retail sectors. It does fundamentally change the relationship from being more of a component supplier to a solution provider. And to that extent, we do work with a lot of very, very well-recognized partners. We've got an extremely large partner ecosystem. Since they don't have a Telefonica-sized engineering team, our support model shifts. Tier ones will typically have departments for regulatory compliance and roaming settlements. And for an MVNO, that's a massive overhead. So we treat compliance as a feature. Our core is really designed to automatically handle local data residency requirements. So take, for example, sovereign AI, which is a common theme here at MWC this week, and that complex multi-operator roaming logic out of the box. So we act as that technical shield for them, ensuring that they stay compliant while they focus on marketing and customer acquisition. Second important area that I think is worth talking about is that with a tier one, support is often about a break fix at a massive scale. With an MVNO, our relationship is more of a co-innovation. We act as their virtual CTO. So in short, we don't really sell them just a core, we sell them autonomy. Our goal is to make a 10-person MVNO team feel like they have the technical IQ of a tier one carrier. And we win when they can outmaneuver the giants because their infrastructure is more agile than the incumbents.
If MVNOs are making this transition from being a thin MVNO to a thicker one, are you able to respond to that and support that as they're going?
So here's how AxyomCore specifically addresses this journey. We have a cloud-native scalability, so this is going to be a low entry, high ceiling. The biggest hurdle for a thin MVNO moving to thick is that massive capex of a traditional core hardware. And AxyomCore does remove this barrier. We have a microservices architecture, and why this is important is MVNOs can start small. They can deploy only the necessary network functions like a P gateway or HSS as a software container, and grow over time, as well as hardware independence. The second thing I think is really important is really talking about this converged core that we spoke a little bit earlier about, which is on future-proofing. Many MVNOs get stuck in this thin model because their legacy host MNOs make 5G integration difficult. And when we look at dual mode support, AxyomCore provides a unified software stack for 4G, the Evolved Packet Core, as well as 5G, SA, and NSA. And this allows an MVNO to take control of its data session management today, where it's being natively handled, and taking that over to 5G without a second migration. And then finally, operational independence and service innovation. Moving from a thick model is ultimately about owning that customer experience. And AxyomCore enables this through policy control. So instead of using the host MNO rigid data buckets, a thick MVNO can create custom zero-rated apps, specialized gaming tiers, or even real-time parental controls. And they can use our platform to support network slicing as well, as such as enabling an MVNO to act as an enabler for MVNE, or for others to carve out virtual slices for specific high-value enterprise clients, such as a private LTE or 5G for a warehouse.
Pete, thank you very much for your time. That was really helpful. And for you watching this, if you have any questions, please do get in contact with us. And thank you very much for your time.